Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Um, Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about accepting my risk and just learning to embrace whatever happens in the market, right? There's this guy on YouTube, very popular guy, kind of like TJR. I don't follow ICT concepts at all. I don't use ICT concepts at all. But Justin Werlin is a young trader. I think he's like 21, maybe 22, 23 now, but very young trader, but very wise trader. A lot of the stuff that he says, it's wow. Like in terms of psychology, it's so good. And one of the things that he said that I have not really been putting into practice, but I'm trying to now, is being able to, it sounds weird, but being able to submit to the market, meaning whatever happens, happens. And that's a key part in Stoicism too. One of the quotes in Stoicism is, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but essentially it's like, let whatever happens, happens, and be grateful for whatever the outcome is. Be grateful that you're able to go through those hardships, enjoy those good times, and basically whatever happens, be grateful for it. Um, don't wish for something else, right? So that's what I'm trying to do in this market. It's hard, but today, day two of kind of like refining my process, using price action to trade a little bit more. I feel like I've been really limiting myself in terms of the breakout and retest. First of all, for trades, the amount of trades that I take, but second of all, too, um, like not trading the way that I want to, essentially, right? I felt like I was really handicapping myself and saying, hey, you're only allowed to trade this way, right? Which is why I believe, part of the reason why anyway, that I would tilt. Whenever a trade doesn't go my way, and I'm like, well, I have to wait a very long time in order to take another trade. I would tilt, lose more money, and lose more money after that, and lose more money after that. So at least this way, it solves that issue, but I still have deep underlying issues that I need to be able to improve on in order for myself to grow, right? Part of that is fear of losing, and then another part of that is accepting the loss, saying that I lost, and moving on. But I think this improved way, refined way of trading allows me to be able to accept that a little bit more readily by saying, hey, you're going to have some more trades. You don't have to wait a week for another trade. You're going to be able to trade a little bit more, right? So let's kind of go over what I did. Um, Essentially, we started here, started at 822. Um, bias is bearish, right? We had this huge chop FOMC stuff happen earlier today, right? So again, using volume profile, changed our settings just slightly. Um, Bearish bias again, right? Prior day value area low right here. Current prior current day prior current day value area high right here, right? So you can see we started increasing on selling volume, right? Rejected value area high here, came through, slashed through point of control, rejected point of control, and then continued downward, right? So this would have been a good trade, right? A lot of times, if you're a range trader, you might want to get caught in this, but that's not going to be good, right? You're going to think that this is support. But if you're slashing through these areas on high selling volume, then that's not a good thing, right? So I came down here. I didn't take a trade as of yet, right? So we kept on selling. But I do look to take a trade here. Why is that? Selling or buying climax. So here, much bigger volume than the rest, right? After a prolonged period of selling, usually that's an indicator that there's going to be a reversal occurring, right? I'm still not good with reversals. I'm still learning, but I have seen that in my trading, and this is where I've gotten caught up with my strategies. I see such high volume after a prolonged period. I think we're going to continue lower, but it doesn't happen, right? So we continue. We head higher on higher volume. I enter here, I believe, 871.75, so cool. Entered there on the close, continued higher, ended up selling 881.25. But you see it's 10 contracts. Why? I went in with higher size looking for a quicker move, but it was the wrong decision, right? I began to risk too much, and that's an area too that I need to figure out as well, is sizing. I think I have my sizing down a little bit in terms of how much I'm willing to risk, but at the same time, you have to allow the move to develop. So I sized way too heavy at that time. Um, if you look and see, let's do it here. So I entered initially 5 contracts, so that should have been it, right? And it actually would have done well. My target was 890 for a quick reversal up, um, which we did end up hitting there. We did end up hitting there. In fact, we went up to 900, but because I sized heavier at 885.75, it ruined my profits, and I only ended up getting um, a $40 win instead of like maybe $150 win, right? So that's on me. That's not something I should be doing, you know? Um, Continuing on though, here we take some trades here. Why do we take trades here? Well, let's go through it. Um, we ended up sizing well here, so let's just flatten that. So here, we're starting to look to see for a bearish continuation lower, right? This is clearly a pullback. Even though it's a change in trend, it's just an immediate trend. The overall trend, I believe, I'm going to continue to practice, but I believe it is the most important thing to go with, right? Which makes sense, higher time frame analysis. But because I trade so quickly and I want to trade so quickly, I'm debating on whether the immediate trend is better. The immediate trend was bullish, but you have to get in early, especially after a long bias trend, right? And we're still, or bearish trend, and we're still bearish, right? There's no doubt about that. So here, I ended up taking a trade here, right? Why? It shows that we're rejecting value area lows here, right? We have VWAP right above, which is where I place my stop loss above, just a few points above VWAP. But then also too, reverse pin, and then followed by red candle going through value area lows. Now, did I take this trade too early? I actually don't think so. It was just a lot of chop happening, right? Could it have continued higher? Yes. But I knew that we ended up showing some rejection here as well. And of course, too, um, we had VWAP on our side as well, right? In a bearish trend. Lastly, we also had this line of resistance at this level here, right? So I ended up placing my stop at about 916.50 or so, so a few points above VWAP and a few points above that resistance area here. Here's that chart view. So what ended up happening, I was worried a little bit because I'm like, oh, we're not showing signs of selling here. Um, but then here's first sign of selling. We did bounce a little bit, right? But we're slashing through that value area low. Next one, again, reverse pin here, value area lows, right? Low buying volume, higher selling volume. We engulf this, but lower buying volume again. We're continuing higher. So we're now, it's like, oh, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, we're starting to bounce a little bit higher, but then we came right back and sold, and from then on, I was a bit confident. Again, doji here, but again, you saw how far we went lower and then we continued lower and then from there we continued. Now, here, first target was at this level right here, 870. It's like 876, and then our second target was this low here at 847. That's a pretty big move, but again, we were bearish. I expected us to test these lows right here, but you'll soon see that, which again, I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad it went in my favor, but it easily could have gone the other way. Why did that happen? News, So I'm grateful for this trade. Again, I'm happy with the way things played out. Um, but of course, all of the conflict going on, it's tough. I would rather blow this account in order for all of those people to be okay. If that's what it meant. Obviously, I know that's not the case, and it's just so unfortunate, while I'm here trading, sitting in front of my laptop, using my wireless mouse to make money, there are other people whose lives are in danger, and it's just so unfortunate. But at the end of the day, the trade did play out. We rejected these value area lows here, and we continued lower. So honestly, for me, it was a really good trade. I'm happy with that about that. We sized well as well. We only risked about close to $300, right? So we were initially risking $172, but as I continue to see these play out, you'll see here that I added one here and I added one more here as well. Um, because again, I believe that it was playing out in our favor, which it did, and I didn't over risk on this one, and the trade worked out extremely well. So I'm really happy about that. A lot to learn though, a lot to get better at, of course. These volatility candles did help me, but at the same time too, we had the right idea as well. So, um, hoping to continue this. I'm going to be learning a lot more from Kami Capital. I'm going to go through his live streams again, looking to see how he trades, looking to see what he does. Um, going to be learning more about volume profile this upcoming weekend, and just trying to do the best I can in order for myself to improve as a trader. So we have to be able to accept our risk, right? That was something that I had to just continuously tell myself. I was like, once I entered the initial position, I was like, these $172, which was my stop loss, it's gone. It's done. I've lost it. You know, I accept my risk and I don't know what's going to happen in the market. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I do know that I am willing to risk initially $172 and I am willing to risk maximum $300, maybe slightly over $300, for slippage. So that's what happened. That's what played out. And I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful that I was able to take a win today, but I traded the way that I wanted to and I traded well. So, yeah. Um, anyway, guys, that's about it. Accepting risk is hard, but that's something we're going to continue to work on. We're going to continue to get better as well. And we're going to keep implementing Stoic principles in order to help our trading, right? When I lost a few days ago, it was when I lost this night, which was Monday night. It was tough. I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. I just felt lost. I didn't feel broken, but I just felt lost. But came into the market with a different viewpoint the next day, and then we've bounced back today too. So, cool to say that the balance is now up to 280. Obviously, my goal this time is to be able to get this up to, um, I think I said $3,000, right? Because I want to pass this account as well. We still have a long way to go, but if we're able to do that, then it's going to be good. But also, too, if we can get a payout, if we have some more good winning days and early July, we can get another payout, we take another payout. I don't really care. So, yeah, this is the beginning of the refined trading. So hopefully it continues well. Keep back testing, keep improving, and yeah, keep trading stoically.